Well, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's reminds me a bit
Hello.
of what was it like Inception or something, a little bit.
Well, a lot easier to understand than Inception.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean it's that sort of similar vibe to it, um, or even Memento, which was also dealing with memory.
Mm. Yeah, but instead of making it super complicated, someone was just super simple.
Yeah, this is fairly straightforward. It's more of a mystery, isn't it? Like a mystery thriller.
Yeah.
They wouldn't exactly call it mystery, but I
Well, you
guess you
know,
could
the
I
mystery of the
see where you
woman.
could think it might be a mystery, but they explain it all right at the end.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the movie is a mystery, like to find
Yeah.
out.
I
Um,
mean,
Yeah, like
you
who is
know,
she?
yeah,
What
who
is
is
she
she?
really after?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
But it's sort of like one of those interesting love stories in a way that it's meant to be a con and then they fall in love with the person they're conning.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
right, right until then he was just a mark, and then she was just falling for him. Now.
Yeah. So it's similar to some other movies in the same way, but it's a different take on it because this time Hugh Jackman's character was able to see how the girl fell in love with him in the end.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not really an original story per se, but a different take on a
No,
similar idea.
it's a mishmash of a lot of uh many different concepts
Yeah.
all
And
meshed
different
together.
ideas and
Yeah,
a different take on a story with memory.
yeah. Exactly. Memory.
So I really I, right at the end, I didn't kind of understand that. Was that uh, the the old lady? Was that his partner?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
Uh,
Yeah.
what.
yeah. Decades later, I think I
but
would
but
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but
So one chose to move on to the future, and Hugh Jackman's character wanted to remain in the past with the girl
That's
that
the
died.
deal that he made with
yeah, but
every. Yeah.
he hadn't aged at all.
Oh, he has. Look at
Well,
He
him.
he
did.
he
There were
aged in real
lines and
life.
there were white
The
hair.
white
He did age.
hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the memory, he
Tank.
didn't age, of course.
Yeah.
But in the tank, he was a lot older.
Yeah. So
Okay. Yeah.
it's like a never-ending kind of loop where he's
Mm.
reliving his that memory over and over again.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. Maybe not the best movie, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's okay. So here's the ending. Explain.
Mm.
I think we already know, but it's but this is a very interesting theory where some people say the entire is it what the entire movie
Seems so.
Yeah. Very Inception-like. Very
yeah
meta.
was the entirety of Reminiscence a memory. On the surface, the answer appears to be yes. Nick's memory begins with the same speech Hugh Jackman gives at the beginning of the film and begins with the Lost Keys chapter. Yeah, so that's what we saw at the end.
Mm. Anyways,
Yeah, so it's kind of like this Charmian saying this isn't quite on par with the ambiguous ending of Inception, but there's
yeah,
certainly room for both interpretations of Reminiscence being or not being a memory.
Well, if they show the decades later thing, I don't think it is a memory.
Right.
No.
Yeah, that's right. Because at the end, there's a time jump showing Nick as an older man still in the machine. So this breaks the theory that all of Reminiscence is a memory loop. Although it could be argued that everything up to that point is Nick's memory loop.
So it just loops and loops around, but then in the reality, he's an old man.
Yeah. Something like that.
That theory doesn't really stick up so well.
But yeah, you know, it's one of those twisty things that you kind of think about in a movie like this.
I love the dark. Well, it's not altogether as dark a mood and setting as Blade Runner, but
Yeah.
it does have that dystopian future
Yes.
where, in this case, it's rising sea levels, you know, hinting at climate change. And even though Jono says, "Oh, it's not original," but if you really think about it, no story really
Yeah,
is
there's nothing new under the sun, really.
Nothing, everything
Yeah, true.
repeats. It's very ecclesiastical. Everything is the same, but can you tell a story in an interesting manner?
Interesting manner. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
change it
and I
just a little bit to make it more interesting.
Yes.
And I love the fact that despite it being quite a dystopian future where haves and have-nots seem quite wide, exacerbated by rising sea levels, there's still that sort of glimmer of hope, that sort of dark glamour, noir feel about
Yeah,
it.
they call it sci-fi noir.
Um,
It's what the genre, sci-fi noir.
And it was very interesting to have like a bit of a Matthew Kingpin who came from what hints like a I don't know if it's a race, but again, it's an equality issue where it goes, yeah, because New Orleans is geographically a very low-lying area, so they've got a lot of dams and dikes to keep the sea away. So clearly he must have been, I don't know if it was a race or whether he was called or both. He said, you know, they sent us to camp to hopefully the seas will rise and we'll just drown. And I love the smatterings of the Mandarin that he uses. Like, hey,
Oh, the Mandarin, the Chinese.
Yeah, and I
dude.
was like, oh, the smatterings of Mandarin they use. Very interesting.
I think that New Orleans may actually be below sea level.
What?
Yeah, it is. It's below sea level, I think it is.
Oh yeah, what causes the flooding and wars? It's never quite explained, like why did it happen. But obviously, I think Charmian was mentioning climate changes, kind of thing, global warming, push countries into war potentially.
Possibly.
And so when he mentions war, you sort of go, that makes sense, because if land and resources become diminished, but if we either have the same number of people in terms of population or more, then it's an even more competitive fight for land and resources, and hence war. So it sort of fits. It's sort of extrapolation.
Yeah. And then there's this tale of Orpheus at the end, which obviously I think there's some kind of just trying to make some kind of point as well.
But
Orpheus and
this
from
with
Greek
all these
mythology.
huge shows and TV shows adding Greek mythology into them.
Oh yeah. Well, they say it kind of parallels Nick's search for May in a way, and losing her again after he thought he found her obvious and an unfortunate piece of foreshadowing on Nick's part of what his future holds. Yeah, so
Yeah.
kind of cool. I mean, the whole memory tank concept, right? Pretty cool.
Well, that's not exactly a new concept either, but
No, but
Yeah.
it's kind of done in quite a novel fashion, I think.
yeah, it's
It sort of combines holographic tech with time travel with memory. So
Somebody
yeah,
has
so different way of doing it, but usually it's a tank of some sort.
yeah, it's a tank.
somebody has a football or something playing in the
Oh,
background.
in the background, yeah, I can hear.
Oh, sorry, that's me. I've got the
I
wheelchair
thought it-
basketball on.
I thought it may have been
Australia
you.
versus Algeria
I
wheelchair
was-
basketball.
I wasn't going to out you, but you outed yourself. Yeah, the
Oh, if you
Yeah,
have
that-
you the wheelchair rugby, fantastic.
they're
Yeah.
crazy.
But since the
Yeah,
show is a
absolutely
mismatch of a lot of
nuts.
stuff, it does kind of remind me of like futuristic plus cowboy like TV
Yeah,
show, like Westworld.
yeah.
I've
Westworld
never
especially
seen
because
Yeah, because
because
that's actually a mismatch. It's like futuristic
Mm.
sci-fi, and it's like in the cowboy.
I've never heard of
Guys and stuff.
Westworld, but
it's
when you said
interesting that you mentioned
cowboy,
Westworld because
Westworld is
the
great.
the director of Reminiscence is actually one of the producers of Westworld, Lisa Joy.
Lisa Joy.
um,
Yeah,
I don't know what
uh,
Westworld is, but when Jono mentioned cowboy, Hugh Jackman's character, I've forgotten his name, Nick, he
Yeah.
does have a very cowboy
Cowboy feel,
element
yeah.
to his
Yeah.
work. He wants to search for the truth, and he'll do it alone, even though it might cost him, and even though it's probably better if he doesn't do it alone.
I've definitely seen Westworld at
Oh,
least
okay.
10 times.
10
More
times.
than
I've never
10
even
times.
heard
Season
of this
season
before.
1, 2, and is it up to 3 now?
Oh, it's a
No,
TV show.
no, the old like 19
Oh, the old Westworld, you mean?
1980s Westworld.
I thought you meant the remake, the TV show.
With the bald guy
There was an original one.
Yeah, there was I think it was a movie, wasn't it?
It was a movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It was based on
had,
a book by
they
Michael
had-
Crichton.
Westworld, medieval world, Roman world, and another. Well, yeah, it was basically robots and stuff.
Yeah, robots and stuff.
Yeah, because
And,
Westworld is sci-fi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the interesting thing is that Lisa Joy is the wife of Jonathan Nolan, which makes her the sister-in-law of Chris Nolan. So
Interesting.
so obviously, you know, she's got that sort of connection to Chris Nolan. And she also did the Westworld TV show. So that's where the connection is.
Yeah, but you know, the old Westworld sci-fi movie, it just never gets old. You know, you can see it time and time again, and it's just a classic movie.
Classic, man. Here's
Yeah.
10 movies like Reminiscence. So I think,
Okay.
yeah, I mentioned Memento just now because it
Memento.
also
Yeah.
deals in memory. Yeah, that's a Chris Nolan movie, by the way.
Oh, is
Yeah.
Memento Chris Nolan?
Yeah, one of his earliest one, 2000, 21 years ago.
I've never seen that film, but people tend to like Blade Runner. Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner-ish with the whole futuristic dystopian future.
Yep, that's right. Dystopian society. Yeah. So people who love Reminiscence will likely be wowed by the complex story and visuals in Blade Runner as well. Vanilla Sky.
I've seen
Have I
that.
seen this one? I think I haven't. This is Tom Cruise and Salma Hayek. 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I have not seen that.
So yeah, because this is sort of, you know, a bit of a love story as well. So sci-fi elements, love story of Reminiscence. Chinatown, 1974.
I have not seen that one either.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, it's a
It
noir
looks like a
film.
gangster.
I
Yeah.
guess that's
yeah,
why
no.
it's that noir feel. That's why.
But it's not noir.
Well, it's a neo noir.
Oh.
Neo noir.
Whatever. But overall, I think it was an okay movie.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Minority Report.
Minority
Of course.
Report, yeah.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
This is
Oh,
the pre-crime,
Yeah.
where he can actually tell who's gonna commit future crimes,
But that's a possible future.
possible future. So yeah, that's right. How rather than looking into the past, attack in Minority Report acts as clairvoyance to prevent future crimes. So one is Reminiscence is looking back. This is
Yeah.
kind of looking forward.
But I didn't really like Minority Report much because
Oh really?
yeah. Well, one of the ideas of it is they're trying to prevent a crime, yes, but it's a possible future that they're preventing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
effectively, they're charging someone for something they haven't even done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a thought crime.
Yeah,
You
it's a thought
punish
crime.
someone for the actions that they've
What's
done.
the
not
ethical
actions that
implications of that?
possibly-
Yeah.
Yeah, but as well, it's only a possible future, so it may or may not happen because that's only a clairvoyance. Is what they said. Yes.
Yeah, but I think that's why it's so fascinating, right? All these, what you mentioned, the implications of that, even the ethics of that, and I think that's what the film was trying to explore, isn't it? Yeah.
So they have
clairvoyance.
to. Yeah. They charge them for nothing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Minority Minority Report may have been made on the ethics of the American crime system of where police can only detain you if you have about to, or if you are in the commission or about to commit a crime.
Yeah.
So the about to falls
to.
into line with Minority Report.
Yeah. Except that in this case, he can actually.
But the Minority Report one is a possible
Possible.
future,
Yeah.
meaning
And so it's about to.
So it's
but
about.
not
to.
exactly, no, because it actually may not happen because that's one of the many possible futures. It doesn't mean that it will happen every single time.
Yeah. Well, it's
in
a
the
high
exact same way.
probability. It's all about probabilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's a probable,
Yeah. Probable. Yeah.
but how big is that probable?
Yeah, but
Not
then
kinda
I guess if it's something super critical, then they would have to kind of like pay attention to it, right? Even if it may not happen, but what if the off chance that it could?
Yeah,
And
that's
they
why
don't do
seeing
anything,
Yeah,
right.
that's why seeing the future is dangerous and not a good thing to look at
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, as we all know from all those, yeah,
Time travel movies.
time travel movies.
Yeah,
And
strange.
there's a sense
I
that
didn't really
ignorance
like
is
that.
better because what you've then
Yeah.
it therefore you've brought into the somewhat seeming, which it isn't, certainty that that will happen, and that either changes your decisions or makes you more anxious. I reckon there's a reason and wisdom in us not knowing the future, and I'm more than happy for that.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Strange days.
like
No,
if you knew the
confidential.
future, you'd be like more reluctant.
Yeah, absolutely. You sort of are resigned to it. Yeah.
LA
I've not seen
Confidential.
LA Confidential, but that's another highly lauded film.
Yeah. I think again, right, it's because of this neo noir, whatever that means, neo noir feel. And then Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is another romantic
Oh, that's
love
been
story.
on my to-watch list for like the
Yeah.
longest time. Everyone tells me that this is a great film, and
I
I've yet
have
to
not
see
seen it.
that. Oh, it's
Romantic love
fantastic.
story that incorporates sci-fi elements of memory manipulation.
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
exactly right. But it's got to do with the relationship and the memories. That's all I know.
Yeah. Total Recall, of course.
I don't know if I've seen that film.
That was an okay one. The reboot was horrible.
Right, yeah. The
Yeah,
original with
yeah.
Arnie.
I think that's
That's
what
right.
I've heard as
Yeah.
well. That the original's good, but don't watch the reboot.
The remake was just so bad. It was
Yes, it was horrible.
unbelievably bad.
The remake was the one with Kate. Was it Kate Beckinsale and Colin Farrell?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
Well, yeah. Total Recall is about false memory, while Reminiscence is about memory retention. So that's the difference. One is about false memories, the other is about remembering. And Inception, number one.
Inception, of course.
Inception, of course. Everyone likes Inception.
Well, it's different, right? But the psychological and sci-fi elements, they
I'm
resemble
not
Reminiscence.
sure if I've seen Inception.
Really? Didn't you come see it when we saw it together? Oh, I can't remember.
Funnily enough, this week for our work teams background, so for the last couple of weeks, there's a theme for the week. This week's theme was a shot of your favorite movie, and one colleague had Blade Runner, and this colleague never changes his background, and finally went, "Oh, Richard, you changed your background," and I could recognise as Blade Runner, the original one.
Right.
And then, who had him? Then our data analyst, he had Inception. So it was very interesting that in this list of 10, we already have my colleagues that have taken up 2 of them.
Right.
And we did talk about them. I thought we did talk about Memento as well when we looked at our DA's choice of Inception.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
They wouldn't have picked those as my favorite movies, though.
Your favorite movies?
Like
right. Like Inception.
No.
Everyone asked about mine. I go, "Oh, what's that one?" I said, "Oh, it's a Scandinavian dark comedy, and it's called En man som hette Uwe, and it means a man called Uwe." And I'm not going to tell you the basic synopsis because it's really easy to find out. It's just great Scandinavian dark humour. It's about that cantankerous old man. So yeah, clearly I had to pick a foreign game.
How's your finish?
Oh, my finish! It's deteriorated so much since COVID, and no lessons, and I've done absolutely next to nothing, and I think it's actually gone downhill.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
I've heard that Finnish is one of the most difficult languages to learn.
I think it does have that reputation, but I think it really depends on what other languages you've been exposed to, and therefore people's expectation. Because Finland is in that Scandinavian region, it is actually nothing like Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish, which are very similar. There are some similarities to Swedish, but I'll leave it at that. So therefore, it's like, oh, okay, so it's really different. So that stands out. But I tell people, look, if you come from an English-speaking background, I reckon it's actually harder to learn something like Japanese, Chinese, or Arabic, where the actual writing and reading is actually completely different. At least it still uses a Latin alphabet. So, yeah. Anyway, enough about Finnish. Back to thank you, Bill. But yes, if you want to practice, if you want to teach me Finnish, feel free.
Some plot holes and unanswered questions.
Ooh, interesting.
Head scratchers. Well, the first one is obviously, how does this actually work? And it's kind of, we just accept it on face value.
It hints at sort of hypnotism as well, because he always starts with, and how he sort of has to use the prompt. Remember when in Avery, that police office, and the guy just, asks a question. He's like, it doesn't work like that. You can't lead someone, and then if there's no memory access, they just go all spasmo. It feels like there is some sort of psychological craft and science to it.
Well, the headset is very similar to what I used to get to be measuring the amount of epilepsy that I was having.
Really? So You
All
mean
those like
thing that the thing that they put on their head with a lot of electrodes? You mean that thing?
yeah, but the one that I was getting put on my head was basically just like a loose stocking with gel and like little suction cups, that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, not just a slip-on um, headset.
Mm.
Yeah, used to take about oh 30 to 45 minutes just to get all the electrodes in place.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I would think
Mm,
that there would be quite a lot of them, wouldn't there, Bill?
yeah, they didn't with they've been testing me for like different sound frequencies, light frequencies, yeah, that kind of stuff.
Mm.
So this is like some questions obviously that's not answered. Like how can someone's brain hold parts of a memory that they didn't see? Like parts of the
Yeah,
room that
that's
were behind
Yeah.
true.
them or details they weren't looking at, right?
Yeah,
Well,
that wouldn't exactly work.
to
Yes.
me, to me, it makes sense. When we don't remember them,
Yeah.
we might have seen them, but our brain sort of doesn't stick to it or cling to it. So it's like a
Mm.
glancing. It's like when you read. It's the difference between skim reading, but
Yeah, yeah.
you still retain, like, the book is on your bookshelf. You can access it anytime,
Yeah.
but your first experience is always a quick skim. Whereas here, he sort of forces you to delve deep into it, and maybe you pick up details that you didn't
Yeah, I guess
that
so,
wasn't
but what
noticed on
if
the
what
Maybe.
if you haven't actually looked at those parts of those parts of the room? So
Yeah,
there's no way that
exactly.
you would know what they look like.
Because effectively you'd be looking at from like the point of view of the person.
The
Mm.
Not
person.
exactly they wouldn't be looking at themselves from the third point of from like an external point of view.
Right, right. Yeah.
Yes,
Which is why. Oh, yeah, sorry,
my,
Bill.
most of our main memories are from things that we concentrate on looking at. But um, if you go to a hypnotist, he can pull out things that were in your peripheral in your peripheral vision,
Yep, peripheral vision, that's right. Mm.
which was in the movie.
I thought they
Yeah.
actually did really well that when they do the relive your memories bit,
Yeah.
they did try to stay faithful that it is a point of view. Like, remember when I think it's the guy at the police station, I've forgotten his name, the one that they wanted to go, no, show me some memory of him at St. Joe's, and it's like you're in his shoes and he walks into the bar and he looks
Oh,
around.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, that feels real as a memory.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, from his point of view, like a first person perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I mean, obviously, you have to suspend some kind of disbelief. Uh, why did the war end in Reminiscence? I think. Oh, right, the
They
war.
talked about, you know how, like, the rich,
Yeah, the
they
rich.
call them
Yeah,
the
the classes and
landowners.
factions clashing. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm sort of going,
yeah.
normally that ends because you've got one or a couple of people who've consolidated their power and everyone just lives in fear, like
Mm.
dictators and authoritarian forms of governance. That's exactly what happens. It's preceded by a whole lot of unrest, but once some or a group of people consolidate that power, that's when the warring stops.
Yeah, one
So I
side was
suspect,
beaten into submission or
yeah.
simply lost the will to keep fighting.
Mm.
And I I think he said that he did two tours of either Iran or Iraq, was it?
Who? Oh, Hugh Jackman's character, Nick Bannister.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
2 tours or something, and that's why the guy didn't shoot him.
yeah, but
What did you say there, Bill, about Nick's character?
well,
He
yeah,
did two
he
tours in Iraq,
yeah,
Oh,
or something like that.
but yeah, so like yeah,
and it's interesting how I can't remember where he went, but it was very obvious. They go, "You're a vet, aren't you?" Like the person could tell straight away that he's an ex-soldier, defense
soldier,
force
yeah.
person.
Mm-hmm.
How did Nick forget about May's past? Like, right. Because
Yeah.
May did give Nick a lot of clues about her past. Well, she mentions a time
Oh,
in New
look,
Orleans.
when you have deep affection for someone, you tend to wear the rose-colored glasses, and
Yeah.
if someone hints at a past, you tend to, like I said, with memories, it's there, but you sort of brush over it or brush it aside until
Yeah.
you need to access it, and then I don't know, if somehow you find out, yeah, they were a drug addict, and you're like, and you think back up, oh yeah, all the clues were there, but I
It's
missed
so
it. I go,
clear
yeah,
now
because you
in
weren't
hindsight.
focusing on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only clear in hindsight.
Yeah, well, it also it makes more sense for the plot. If Nick forgot.
Yeah, I guess so, conveniently so. But I shouldn't use the word conveniently so, because I think it marries up to real life experiences of how you do
It's called
memory somehow.
It's called conditional or something. No, selective remembering
Yeah,
of things.
I
yeah,
guess
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's similar to, say, a close family or friend that you hold really high regard to, and then all of a sudden really controversial allegations are there, and it's really hard to believe until you sort of go, oh, if you think back, then maybe those were clues, those sorts of things. So yeah.
Yeah. How
well,
does Nick get into the house?
so selective memory
Ooh, good question.
is basically
Good
up to
question.
you, but um, as I suffer from short-term memory,
Okay.
yeah, not selective memory. Like if you have selective memory, and you can choose to not remember something, but uh, like selective memory really doesn't exist. Right? It's like, say, atheism. There's no atheist in the world, and then no one can prove there's no God.
Uh-huh.
So they're all just agnostic. But my short-term memory loss. Some things I can remember uh, after just being told once, but other things like being introduced to people, it can take like 3 or 4 times for being told their name for me to remember their name.
Okay.
Mm.
So it's a little bit selective in a way, right? Some things you can remember after just once. Other things you
Yeah,
can't.
but it, it's not me selecting
Okay.
the memories. Yeah,
Mm.
it's really strange how the brain works with the memory.
Mm.
Yeah.
This is another one. Yeah.
But I guess with like we're not really scientists, so we don't really know how memory exactly works in
Works.
some way.
Yeah, that's right.
Like we have some idea, but not a big amount. Ask a scientist.
This is just one of the plot holes. As in, like, how
Yeah.
did he simply walk in without any trouble,
Well,
right?
they did.
Well,
They didn't even
if he's an
talk
ex-vet,
about what that is.
if he's an ex-vet and he's pretty formidable and he's pretty good at gathering intelligence and good at getting access, to me it seems like a logical jump that somehow he manages to get
Yeah,
into this
somehow.
escape.
Yeah. But
Like if he was a
again,
normal Joe Blow, then no. But already you get a feel that this guy's not your ordinary guy.
But then again, they are a powerful family, so you know,
Yeah.
lackluster security, right?
Well, you know, to me, he was coming across as basically a burnt up alcoholic vet.
So he's a vet who turned into like I don't even know what you call him.
Alcoholic.
Memory doctor or something.
Uh,
Why does May go back to Nick's office at the end?
Because I think she genuinely loved him.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
explained that right at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They actually explain it when, as more of Booth's memories revealed, he suddenly realizes that even though it started out as a con, she did genuinely develop feelings for him, which explain why he came back to his office.
I guess the point of this is that it's just trying to make the point that she's, you know, throughout the film, she seems like someone who's smart and shrewd, and yet at the end she was just knocking on his door.
Not necessarily, because you could sort of tell that she wanted him. She knew that he was a guy who was, especially after you get to know him, he's a guy who's curious and always out for the truth. So if she hints at something, he'll chase it, like that dropped earring. It's like,
well, she was forced to drop the earring because of Booth, right?
Yeah. So I guess she didn't get a chance to either explain herself or take him away or whatever her original intentions were, but she didn't want it to end there. She knew that she could somehow get to him. Like, even when he accessed Booth's memories, everything she said, he goes, that was meant for me. And in the end, like, the switch goes to the end, she does reveal Nick, and then Booth's like, who's that, you know?
Actually, I thought there was a pretty cool moment.
That kind of reminds me of what happens in, like, the Assassin's Creed game. With, like, talking to, like, who is this person? What's this name? Who are you talking to?
But that was quite a cool moment there when she was actually talking to him, but not him.
Yeah. those scenes are, like, quite interesting.
Yeah.
Initially, I wasn't sure whether that was deliberate or not.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought, because you know how she was plied with the bucker to so that Booth would, you know, be under her influence or something. I thought it was the drugs talking.
Yeah.
But then as it went on, I went, oh, she seemed pretty sort of half lucid.
Yeah.
And she's a pretty cool chick, so.
And
but in the conversation as well, she did say, "You're here, aren't you?"
Yeah, you're here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But maybe I thought the drugs made her hallucinate as if that figure was him. Was half my explanation initially.
Well, that girl would have known that he would have been able to see the memories.
I'm pretty sure that she would have been planning her suicide. Even like when she first stood up from the chair and started talking to the guy, and basically talking through the guy to Nick. Do you know what I mean? Because the baldy guy said, you know, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
And then, you know, she just downs all.
The drug, the baka or whatever it's called.
All the baka.
Baka,
and jumps.
And then jumps.
I don't know if she was like landing in water or off a building or like it never showed, did it?
Yeah, it didn't really show.
Yeah, but
it just went
seems like she was just jumping off and then died.
And you could tell that she was scoffing down mouthfuls of that bucker. So clearly it's like, I don't think she was supposed to take that much.
No.
So, I agree with Phil. No. She knew that the only way out to prevent, further harm or
To Freddy.
prevent Freddy being found was
Yeah.
if she was out of the picture. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
she's
you
probably
know,
dead.
she had a plan from from the moment she stood up from the chair.
Yeah,
and
I think so. I think
went
so. Yeah.
close to the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
This is one that, well, at the end, he's probably decades, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was going, doesn't he have normal bodily functions like?
It doesn't actually make a lot of sense when you think about it.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I
he
was going,
can't
doesn't
eat.
he
Yeah.
need to eat and sleep and
Yeah.
Exactly.
defecate and urinate? Like, surely
Yeah.
he can't be just.
What about eating, as you say, relieving himself,
Exactly.
paying the rent on the
Okay.
building
Right.
and keeping
Like,
the machine
okay.
running, right?
Okay,
yeah,
the
it's a
rent and the
rent,
machine makes sense, but bodily functions, no.
Like, what happens if
Unless-
there's a power blackout? Then the machine won't be running anymore.
Unless,
when-
unless if it's like normal TV or movies, you just assume they do it, but they just never show it. So
Yeah.
I think
Probably.
with the way they shoot to it, it feels like he's just continuously
In the
being
tank
up there,
forever
but-
and ever. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe he does get reprieved of coming out, use the bathroom, eating, and but he
No, it
jumps
just
straight
seems
to the
like
tank.
he's just asleep for forever, right? Doesn't I don't
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the feeling I
it's
get.
the feeling that you
Yeah,
get.
that's the
Yeah, that's the
feeling
Yeah,
we
I
get.
mean-
feeling I get.
See, like when I had my accident when I was 18, I was in a coma for 2.5 months, and I had tubes up my nose for feeding, and every single day I had bed turners. I'm telling me to avoid pressure sores and had things attached to me for urination and defecation.
Right. But I mean, obviously you were just in the bed like for the 2.5
Yeah,
months.
it
Yeah.
was exactly like him
Yeah.
in
Like
the
him,
tank.
yeah. Like in the tank, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but the person in the tank had no tubes or anything.
Yeah, we didn't see tubes.
Exactly.
Just sleeping.
But and over the 2 months that I was in a coma, I basically went from a 14-stone football player physique down to 5.5 stone,
Oh, wow.
just like skin and bone.
Yeah.
And when I woke up, I didn't know that I'd lost all that weight.
2.5 months worth of yeah. Well, that was 2.5, but
Just
in the
or-
movie, right? It's
yeah,
probably years and years and years, and
Yeah, exactly. He would have just been like he would have lost every single bit.
yeah,
of,
yeah, exactly,
of,
and
like,
also
Yeah.
yeah,
all the muscle mass would have gone.
and also the hair is also far too short and neat.
Mm.
Anyway,
True,
I mean,
because-
yeah,
yeah.
no, they may have been cutting his hair and that kind of stuff.
oh maybe yeah, but
Yeah.
obviously they wanted to do it as a symbolic kind of ending, right?
Mm.
So that's the whole reason.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so. Maybe. Just
Um,
take it on a bad ending of a movie.
yeah. So did May actually love Nick? That's the big question. So I think Charmian just now said yes.
Well,
It kind of does show that
uh,
she did.
She said, "I love you," in the back of the car. When she
Yeah, exactly.
She was,
When
like,
she turns
grabbed.
around in the car, she goes, "I love you."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Bill.
There is an argument to be made though that for that was this that the message she left for him in Bruce's memory says that she loved him, but what if there was just another lie to compel him to rescue Freddy?
But still, it shows that
No,
she
but
had.
why
it
did
still
she
shows
go
that
to
she
the
has
door
a
then?
heart.
Why did
'Cause
she
if the
go
plan-
back?
Why did she go back?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
exactly. And if she didn't care, she would have happily given Freddy up. You know,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
satisfy her bosses for whatever gain she was originally promised
Yeah.
or to prevent further pain. But the fact that she diverted from the original plan clearly shows there was a change.
Right. When she
Yeah.
rescued Freddy and got him on the
Yeah,
boat. Yeah.
exactly right.
I think at that point, Hugh Jackman's character was devastated, but up until that point, right? And then he was like, "Oh yes, she's not the the scumbag
Yeah.
that he thought she was."
I like your words.
Too
scumbag.
many questions in this movie. Too many plot holes.
But is there gonna be
But
a
they're not real
reminiscence
plot
too?
holes. A lot of them were just, oh, is this? I have this question. I'm like, well, that's not a valid question. Were you watching the same movie I was? That was
Yeah, I
answered.
guess so. That
Right.
was answered, yes.
Yeah. Some
And
questions.
highly doubtful for it too.
No,
What is
I
everyone
I
want a
don't
sequel of
think-
everything?
No,
Highly
I
doubtful.
don't think
movie-
that they should
Every
bring
movie
out
they
a second one.
ask for a second one.
Well,
I know.
unlikely too, because apparently it didn't do that well anyway for box office wise.
Yeah, I think it's got 38 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah. Actually, we should wrap it up now and talk about our scores.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, 38 on Rotten Tomatoes, but
Scores.
what?
Well, I actually enjoyed the film.
Yeah, I quite
You
enjoyed
know,
I
it.
did
you know,
too.
Quite
like
enjoyed it.
using like the mental senses to be like altered places and stuff like that.
So what
Like,
would you give it?
I've got two sets of VR glasses, and I'm watching VR movies all the time. I like escaping reality kind of. I'd probably give it a 7.
Oh right, so actually, if you give it a 7, you are actually right. Right on the dot with IGN.
Oh,
Yeah.
by
Stop
the
it with
way,
IGN. Stop it.
you know how we were talking about not being able to, like, there's an actual condition where
Yeah.
people can't recognize people's faces. I've got
Yep.
Arne's Brush with Fame on in the background, and he's got Dr. Carl there, and Dr. Carl's got it. He said
Dr.
that he
Carl?
bumped into this. Dr. Carl Kruzelnitsky.
Oh, I see.
Oh yeah.
He's got that condition too.
He's a strange looking little doctor with big glasses and totally bald. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
always,
I know him.
Oh,
Yeah.
always-
Tall dude,
always
Yeah.
talking really loud.
and very quirky, like shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loud shirts.
But I guess it would be really hard if you have a condition and you're like teaching. That'd be like
Yeah,
the
because
worst.
he's a lecturer at Sydney Uni, isn't he? Or I know he works for the
Sydney
Sun.
Uni, yeah.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
alma mater.
Physics or something.
Ah,
Yeah, like having clown phobia or something like that, Jono.
Actually, what's Jono's score?
so what's Jono's school?
Yeah, Jono.
I'd give it probably a 5.
Okay, that's not bad.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what I was going to give it. I was going to give it a 5 as well.
Yeah, I think I would kind of maybe in between Jono and Bill. Well, Charmian and Bill, yeah. 6.
Yeah, 6 is okay. That's
Yeah.
reasonable.
How about Phil?
Yeah, 6.5.
6.5, yeah.
Oh, you guys are generous.
All right.
What?
I'm not-
Actually, is Jeff still around or
I
haven't heard
I think
anything
you're
at all
still
from
there.
Jeff
Did he fall asleep?
Hang on.
or James?
We've got me,
James
Marcus, Phil, James, Ed, Jeff's still there. Jeff
Yeah,
Chan,
well, it's
and
muted.
there's some weirdo.
Probably fell asleep.
Oh, I talk a lot already.
Hmm.
Hmm.
All right.
I guess there's scores from them.
Not from them.